It's safe to say that the best part of reselling is the thrifting part, but the second best part is the actually selling clothes part. So in order to do that, it really helps to know what people want to buy and what they're on the lookout for. So in order to help me determine that, I like to go online every so often and look at what the current fashion trends are, because I know that if there are certain things that are really on trend, more people will be on the lookout for them, and they typically will sell pretty well. So in today's video, I'm going to look at some current, very recent fashion articles and see what's currently trending. So the first article I want to look at is the 7 trends already defining summer 2026 style, and this is from Who What Wear. First one on here is the CBK effect, the Carolyn Bessette Kennedy effect. Total style icon. Her looks were very timeless, classic, quiet luxury, very just like clean, polished. So in this article it says column skirts, white crisp button-down shirts, and sling back heels. So just again, very sophisticated, clean. And you know what? These pieces could be very like versatile too. So I think those are actually great kind of items to be on the lookout for. Next one is purple. And I do like to pay attention to the color trends because they kind of ring true for so many different categories. Like if a color is on trend, you can pick that up in so many different items. And I haven't really seen purple as like a color trend in a while, so this is actually a really fun one. So I will be on the lookout for some purple items when I'm out thrifting. Then the next one is all about Blasi. And I had to do a quick Google search to see who this is. It says Matthew Blasi, and I'm not sure how I am pronouncing that. I came to find that this is the creative director at Chanel, but it seems like this collection is very colorful. It says, everyone cool will be wearing Chanel this summer. So I'm not cool this summer. I don't know if you're cool this summer, but it says from its two-tone and dipped shoes to its mint-colored croc shopping totes. So two-toned is something I definitely can be on the lookout for. It's a great keyword as well. I like these dipped shoes right here. That's a very cool, fun style. Mint could be a more trendy color. Then we have sunglasses, belts, and scarves, oh my. And it says, feel free to lean on your basics this summer. That is, as long as you don't forget accessories, which are set to dominate all season long. In particular, the focus will fully be on colorful silk scarves, big sunglasses, and even bigger belts, specifically their buckles. So I'm thinking very like mid-2000s, chunky belts over like button-down shirts and those big bug-eyed sunglasses, which I have already started to notice that the very like narrow sunglasses are a little less on trend and is again like back at the big sunglasses. So hold on to your little sunglasses though if you have them, because I'm sure those will come back around too. But right now it seems like accessories are very big, bulky, chunky, you know, a little more maximalist as opposed to minimalist. Then this one says graphics galore. You know all those graphic t-shirts you've collected over the years from vintage shops, ex-boyfriends, and sporting events? Well, they can now be worn for a lot more than just sleeping. This summer, expect to spot all the coolest girls who follow experimenting with their graphic tees, wearing them oversized and belted as a beach cover-up, or in the case of Chanel, with a skirt suit. I think graphic t-shirts, and especially vintage ones, are something that resellers are pretty much always on the lookout for, or just like cool older graphic shirts. So it's maybe an extra reason to be on the lookout for them. Sorry if you primarily sell vintage shirts. I am afraid the competition could be higher now. The next one is sex appeal. Prepare for a sexy summer to kick off very soon, with designers like Hermes, Tom Ford, and Gucci leading the charge on the fashion front. Yes, people will be wearing leather in the hot temperatures, offsetting the heavy fabric with sheer, airy lace. Pencil skirts, sky-high pumps, and calf-hugging stiletto boots will all too be present. So let's see, lace, very like pointed toe. Stiletto seems to be back in, which is kind of surprising. I feel like block heel was so on trend. It's always fun to see what comes back around. Then it says World Cup incoming. Soccer fans, this summer is for you. The World Cup kicks off June 11th across North America, and people are already dressing for the matches. Jerseys styled with vintage Levi's and poplin skirts, track pants, and shoes worn with bikini tops and ballet flats are just a few examples of how stylish people will be showcasing what team they're aligned with. So anything very sporty and I guess like jersey or that more like performance material. The next one is from Marie Claire, and it is these 8 summer fashion trends are the ultimate good taste signifiers. First one is personality skirts. It says when you can't be bothered to think too hard about what to wear, rely on just 2 simple ingredients, a basic top and a personality skirt. That is a skirt covered in fringe, sequins, or crystals, rendered in a print or a color you can't ignore, or cut into an unconventional shape like a bubble hem or sarong style. They definitely shared a lot of different things, but I'm really just picking up on, again, the maximalist trend, things that are very bold and eye-catching. This next one says pitch a tent. When it's 90 degrees outside, there are few things more infuriating than a garment that sticks to your skin and makes you feel sweatier than you already are. In an A-line dress that billows or a breezy caftan designed to float around your figure, you don't run that risk. For summer 2026 specifically, look for flared out minis and maxis in tropical florals or with pops of punchy persimmon orange. These are some of the items that might come in linen and be extra breathable and light and perfect for summer, but I did read recently that A-line would be in, and so this is kind of just reaffirming that. Here we go, linen and halter. That's another thing I heard was coming very much back on trend. So we'll see if we see halter later on in here too. Summer suiting is the next one. No matter how desperately you wish to shrink your responsibilities and escape to the seaside in the summer, duty still calls. So this is definitely more of a business office kind of a look. Summer 2026, designers took the time to remix professional pieces, hopefully making your daily doldrums less boring. So things like long Bermuda shorts are a good swap for trousers, things that are tailored. The skirt suit earned a remix too, with Gucci and Valentino showing edgier, less stuffy versions in black and metallic tweed. So just more, again, fun, vibrant, bold takes on some of the classic things. Pleated is another good keyword and thing to be on the lookout for. Ooh, is off the shoulder back on trend? Sometimes the fashion layup you are looking for can be found in a slightly offbeat silhouette. This summer, that's any piece that plays with the shoulders. An off-the-shoulder tunic instead of your usual spaghetti strap, or a maxi dress with a funkier asymmetrical neckline. I don't know what this word is, but anyway, stripes. Stripes are in. I'm just gonna write stripes. Next is knits in 90 degrees. Yes. Open weave cardigans, cotton crew necks, and even a thick Fair Isle sweater worn unbuttoned. The pre-fall 2026 collections paid focus to an oft-forgotten seasonal essential, the summer sweater. Like it or not, temperatures tend to dip once the sun sets, and corporate offices typically don't accept input on their AC settings. Very true. So it's saying that sweaters, cardigans, certain kinds, looks like short sleeve or just any that you can kind of wear open. It's also just, you know, nice to have something a little warmer when it does get cooler out. So pretty standard knit cardigans in a variety here. This is pulling in that stripes trend. Then we've got strategic sheers. A wear less ethos is synonymous with the season, so it's never a surprise when sheers emerge as a summer trend. Wide awake is the next one. These are pants for when it's too hot to hear yourself think. Front pleat trousers, so breezy they could pass as maxi skirts. Wide leg denim that looks like it's more palazzo pants than your standard stiff Levi's. Choose whatever material or color you desire, but when it comes to the silhouette, one thing is crystal clear. The bigger, the baggier, the more breathable, the better. This has definitely been on trend for a bit, but this looks like it's taking it up a notch even, like even more baggier. And I do want to take a quick look at the projected fall trends for 2026. So this is from Who What Wear, and it is, we already know 7 trends every ahead of the curve fashion person will shop for fall 2026. Statement colors. Across the fall 2026 runways, statement color played a key role, with chartreuse and purple appearing consistently throughout fashion month. I just still think that maximalism is like all that's coming to mind with a lot of these trends. Very bright and bold, and like you can't ignore them. They're just so like there, you know? Next up is elevated minimalism. So it says full black looks reemerged as a strong power statement, dominating the Milan runways in particular. So kind of opposite of the maximalist bold look. This is very neutral, sophisticated, classic, timeless, and it's kind of a safe bet to buy because it never really goes out of style. It just like looks good forever. So next is mixed textures. More than ever this season, we saw designers focus on layering and mixing textures and patterns to create depth and richness. We saw velvet paired with leather and charmeuse, while jacquards and plaids were mixed with florals, satin, and lace, which resulted in a true explosion of prints and textures. So a lot of different varying textures, mixed media. And this one says refined silhouettes. This season saw a strong strong return to structured tailoring and slim, 90s-inspired silhouettes. Key styles included strong-shouldered, shrunken blazers, slim-cut trousers, and oversized coats, all of which stand out as timeless investment pieces. It is a welcome return to tailoring. Okay. Double-breasted, satin trim. So this one, it's a little more fitted, tailored, like cinched at the hem, really shows off a silhouette versus like being more oversized is kind of what I'm picking up. And then the new evening wear. Occasion wear is designed to feel special, and for autumn and winter 2026, we saw this come through in boucle and beaded dresses, embroidered gowns, and intricate embellishments. Again, very maximalist, bold. Then we have over-the-top accessories, still playing into that maximalism. This season, extremely high thigh-high boots were a standout across the runways, alongside faux fur stoles, gloves, and oversized collars. Pointed toe pumps also featured prominently with proportion, playing a key role overall as seen in elongated silhouettes across both boots and gloves. Over the knee boots is something I would love to be on the lookout for. Definitely a lot of texture playing into a lot of these. Just like you can see by looking at the picture how it feels, and just like photographed so well. So it's a great thing to, you know, items to be on the lookout for reselling, because it's like, you know, they show up so well when you photograph them. All right, playful tights. For this season, tights were no longer an afterthought, and they were used as a styling tool that added personality and layering to the looks, adding elements of patterns and pops of color. It's not necessarily something I will probably be on the lookout for, but maybe would consider for my own style a little bit. But there are certain like micro trends that I typically stay away from when it comes to flipping, just because they are so fleeting. They will like be gone in a second. So things like the colors and just certain silhouettes and things like wide leg has been on trend for years at this point, but some things just come and go really quickly. If it is a trend that I think will be around for a while, I'm definitely more likely to be on the lookout for it and pick it up. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you tend to look into the trends, or if you like to pay attention to what's currently trending, whether it's for yourself or for reselling reasons. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a very good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.